Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jaludin Akbar. I am from Surabaya. I was born in Surabaya, and I birth on the 15 October 2000, 2005, and in 2025 I will be 20 years old. Currently I'm studying in university called Universitas Negeri Surabaya, and I chosen the T4 Electrical Engineering for my major. Okay, that's enough for the introduction. Let's go straight into the material I will be presenting in this video presentation, which is about occupational health and safety. Next. Definition of OHS. Philosophical perspective is occupational health and safety focus on ensuring the physical and mental well-being of employees, aiming to minimize the risk of work-related accidents and illnesses. Legal perspective. OHS is legally defined in Undang-Undang RI Nomor 9 Tahun 1960 Bab 1 Pasal 2 as the practice of maintaining the health of workers in physical, mental, and social aspects. Occupational health and safety legally mean the maintenance of the health of workers in their physical, mental, and social aspect, as stated in Undang-Undang RI Nomor 9 Tahun 1960 Bab 1 Pasal 2. This law puts onus on the employer to ensure a safe and healthy work environment, covering not only the physical but also the mental and social health of the workers. If these legal guidelines are followed, the employers will save their workforce, and the legislation means for protection of workers' rights and welfare will be met. Welfare will be met. Okay, next. Importance of OHS implementation. Why is OHS essential? Number 1, humanitarian grounds. It aims to alleviate suffering by preventing work-related injuries and illness. It is done by ensuring a safe working condition for the workers to protect them from harm, thus improving the overall well-being and quality of life. This will not only guarantee physical health but also physiological and emotional well-being, leading to a more empathetic and caring atmosphere in the workplace. Number 2, legal compliance. The legal policy in OHS helps the organization to follow the safety regulation and avoid certain penalties and legal complications through the adherence to laws and regulation. The business can demonstrate their true care to the health and safety of workers and minimize the possibility of legal action, fines, and damage to their reputation. Compliance with these regulations is essential for maintaining a lawful and ethical workplace environment. Number 3, it's the economic reasons. By minimized financial loss caused by accident, incident, such as medical expense and lost productivity, worker can be reduced by the economic reasons, and they will not get the tax of economic reasons. Okay, next, aspects of OHS implementation. Number 1 is the personal protective equipment, or we call it PPE. That is, ensure safety through protective gear. By using a defining protective gear, we can safely work at any place, we can avoid any harm and any incident or accident because of the PPE we use, that protective equipment for personal body. Number 2, safe workplace. Establish a work environment that complies with health and safety standards. So if we went to an workplace, we must see if the workplace is safe, is it clean or safe to use for work. So we can work and feel safety because the workplace is clean from any harmful or any harmful material. Okay, number 3, health supporting facilities. Provide amenities that support employee health. It means that for the government or the environmental of the work or of the place we work should be provide facilities like P3K or any tools we can use to support workers' health. Like P3K, if we bleeding, we can use antidote like the red and also the cloth. We can hold it in the bleeding area, so we can stop the bleeding by using that P3K tools. And number 4, Training and hazard warnings. Educates workers on safety protocols and hazard awareness. That is mean the worker must be educated by their work, like how to use the tools, how to work with that. Workers must be mastery on their what work they do. Okay, for the next is purpose of OHS. The main objective is number 1 is among the main objectives of OHS are preventing workplace accident and occupational illness. It involves safety measures, proper training, and putting on protective equipment or PPE to ensure minimal risk. It also includes regular inspections and hazard assessments in order to identify and eliminate dangers. A culture of safety is also promoted the preventative measures ensure the protection of health, reduce downtime, and lower costs associated with workplace accidents and illnesses. Okay, for the main objective number 2, it will offer protection for production resource both in terms of manpower and materials. There will be fewer chance of accidents and consequent disruption of production when the workplace atmosphere is healthy and safe to get work in that place. This also encompasses protection against materials and equipment being lost, damaged, or wasted on account of practices that are not safe. So we must avoid the work equipment is not safe to work because it will make me feel not annoying, feel very discomfortable because the equipment we use is not safe and not protective again because it damaged. So we can change the equipment tools that not safely for use. So yeah. And also effective OHS is the continuity of work, better usage of resource, and increased productivity on the whole, the advantage of employees and the organization itself. So if we use a protection equipment that not damaged and safely used, we can feel comfort with it. So we can work very spirit and not lazy because we can feel safely with that equipment. Okay, for number 3, supervise and manage the 4 Ms. That is manpower, materials, machinery, and methods, ensuring a safe work process. And here I will introduction of the M4MS. Number one is manpower. Manpower is properly training and equipping workers with the skills and knowledge necessary for them to do their jobs safely. So if workers are mastery at their skills on work, on the work and also in the workplace, they can do their job safely because they feel they can do the work if they mastery it. So we need the environmental training from environmental training, so the worker can mastery their skills and knowledge about the work that they will do. Okay, for the number 2 is materials. Ensure all materials are stored, handled, and used safely, and that they are of the quality to prevent accidents. So we can conclusion these materials is, okay, the conclusion for the number 2 materials. So we must care about the damaged material or used or to be used, and ensuring the materials is very safe and comfortably to use. Okay, for the number 3, machinery. Regular checking and proper machinery maintenance to prevent malfunctions and incidents by the failure of equipment. So before the work goes, we must make sure the machine or we are engineer must be checking and proper the machinery because the machine is to be used all day and full hours, and it can be error, so we must make sure that the machine is very safe, and we can check all of the machine like the loose, because it will broke the machine. And now for number 4 is methods. Apply standardized safe work procedures. Check that workers consistently follow them to avoid unsafe practices. So we must apply standardized for the worker, machinery, material, manpower. We must apply standardized on all that because for MS it's very important to use in work in the organization. And now next, principles of OHS. And there we see that the image have the quote, key principles for a safe and healthy work environment. So we must principles the all the law of the environment work, because it will very neat for the work, so we can work safely and very comfortably if we principles the law. Okay, principles of OHS. Any work can be done safely. Every kind of task has to be undertaken with the inclusion of safety protocols. So we must finish the task on we work. We must follow the protocols like using PPE or protection equipment, safety material we can use, the machine we will use. We must check all that very safely so we can work safe. It is necessary to discourage the reasons behind workplace incidents, so we can avoid the incident if we follow the protocols of the work environment. All workplace incidents are caused by certain reasons, and this is the starting point for preventing them. So yeah, every kind of task must include safety protocols. Safety is not an optional extra, but an essential part of every work process, because the protocol we must follow is very important. It's very important to keep we safe on working at workplace. Regardless of the task or environment, workers must follow established safety protocols and procedures, ensuring that risks are minimized and safe particles are adhered to at all times. So we must sorry. So we must practice at what we work at, because it's very important to work safely. If we mastery in that, it is like we cut iron. We must follow the protocols and procedure, because if we not, like we don't use the equipment protection, the fire of the cutting iron, it will touch we skin or even eyes. It's very dangerous like that. So we must mastery and follow the protocols and procedure for work safety. A safe working environment pertains to grasping an insight into the scope of work required, possessing knowledge regarding what the risks are, taking necessary precautions that will minimize potential risks. So we must mastery the knowledge of the work we will do. about what the risk will it be, will it do, so we can minimize the potential risk. Okay, next cause and cost of work accidents. First, causal factors of an incident according to Heinrich pyramid of accident causation theory. Unsafe acts, 88%, it comprises of disregard for safety protocols and a breach in the correct operating procedure. So the most people that get accident and get injured by their work because they not follow the protocols and safety procedure. That's why the most of workers is getting injured or even get killed by not following the protocol and safety procedure. That's why we must follow the protocol and safety procedure, like using PPE that I say before, like that, and correct operating procedure. Okay, unsafe conditions, 10%. It's very small. These include all mechanical devices that are not in optimal condition, wet floors, and missing safety measures. That, like what I said before, we must clean the work area we work, the workplace. We can make sure it clean, it is safe and very safe to work in the place. Okay, for the accident related cost calculation, direct expense. This comprise of dollar amounts to be spent on medical treatment or any other health care compensating the injured worker and restoring damaged machinery and tools. So much money spent or used for only that medical treatment and injured worker or restoring damaged machinery and tools. It is because they don't follow the protocols and procedure safety work. That's why we must follow the work and safety procedure. So the environment not get the environment not cut your pay work if you not get injured by following the protocol and safety procedure. Okay, next risk and hazard management. There are photo of explosive, oxidizing, extremely flammable, fire, corrosive by the chemical material, and dangerous for the environment, and can cause all the life animals and plants. It's very not good for the harmful, highly flammable, or it is like the material that very not intolerant in a flame or fire, toxic, Toxic is it's from and it's like corrosive. It's from chemical material, irritants. Okay, then we go to the material in the right. Risk and hazard management. Okay, concepts. Hazard is a substance, chemical or physical condition that has the potential to cause harm. Examples include equipment failure and chemical exposure. Risk is the likelihood of harm from a particular hazard. So we can do the risk control hierarchy. First, eliminate the hazard completely. So we must keep seeing for the hazard because it is very important to follow that to see the hazard so we can avoid the injury from the hazard completely. Substitution. Replace it with a less hazardous alternative. Okay, number 3. Engineering controls. Design safety measures such as guardrails. Number 4. Administrative controls. Policies or training to control the risk. So we must control the risk, like if we don't use equipment or PPE, it's very danger and very risk because it will make we injury in the workplace. And 5, PPE, protective equipment, the last line of defense. It's very important. So we must use PPE very safely, very full set, like helm, the glass, earplug, safety shoes, and etc. Okay, next hierarchy. Hierarchy is a hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. Like the image in the right. Hazard identification. According to Swardi, hazard categories include physical hazard, mechanical hazard, electrical hazard, ergonomic hazard, habitual hazard, and environmental hazards. Biological hazards and psychological hazard. That's a hazard identification in this hierarchy. Okay, next. Okay, we at the end of the presentation. That's all. I'm sorry if it's there is a wrong word I say. Thank you. That's all from me. I apologize if there are any mistakes in words or expressions. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.